Hello, fellow preppers. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. I just got finished watching a video that talked about BOBO gear, which is basically cheap knockoff gear that'll probably fall apart on you the first, second, third time you use it. Well, yeah, there's something to be said for that. But then again, you got these people out there that are, buying this top-of-the-line survival gear. Think about that for a minute. If we're talking about stuff hitting the fan situation and, you're just going to have to be able to use what you have. Now, of course, up until that point, you're collecting gear, accumulating gear, working on things, developing skills, practicing with your gear. That's all well and good. But, to go out and spend 10 times the amount on certain gear, to me that's not a good dollar value. You want to look at dollar value. For example, if you want to get a really good gun, you don't want a cheap gun. You want to get a really good knife because you don't want the sucker breaking on you. You want it to hold an edge. Cheap tools are for the birds. There's a time and place for a cheap tool. A $2, $4 crowbar might work just as good as a $20 crowbar. If you need the crowbar and all you have is a couple of bucks. But for the most part, you want a screwdriver, I'll use a Craftsman. That way if it breaks, I can go get a new one, they'll replace it free. Rather than some, 6 for $1, made in Taiwan piece of junk screwdriver. That's, it's not even really good for opening a can. Anyway, this video I was watching, they were talking about bags and BOBO bags. And how, you don't want to get these BOBO bags. But, the guy said he spent 30, 40 bucks on a bag. And I'm thinking, 30, 40 bucks on a bag, that was no bigger than this. This is one of them old Army issue bags. I think I probably paid maybe 5 bucks. And I got a few of these. Okay, it's not the latest and greatest thing. But, it's got a pocket here. And it's got a pocket here. And you can put a belt loop on it. Doesn't have all the fancy D-rings on it, but hey, we're talking about survival. Do I really need all that fancy stuff? And somebody say, well, your stuff inside could get wet. I go, well, you know what? I can just get me a baggie, put my stuff in there, seal it, put the baggie in the bag. Now guess what? My stuff ain't getting wet. So the point I'm trying to make is that once again, you got to use your mind. You got to think about things, and you don't want to be a techno weenie and go out there and get the latest and greatest thing every time something new comes out, or just because it's camo colored, that's survival, and you pay 3 to 5 times or more the cost. This gets down to a principle that I learned a long time ago, and or a phenomenon called the have, do, be. Where you think if you have something, then you can do something and you can be something. Well, guess what? You can leapfrog it and you can just be that something. So, if you want to be a prepper, be a prepper. You don't have to have, this certain gear to be a prepper. And you do the best you can with what you have, because that's what you're going to wind up doing if the stuff ever hits the fan anyway. So remember, if you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail.